Good evening. What's your name?
Andrew Leon.
And what did you do today, Mr. Andrew Leon?
I topped the sneak peek with EXOSISTERs.
By top, what do you mean?
I mean, I fucking wiped the floor and I used my good old, I went EXO with EXOSISTERs.
Yep. All right. Let's get it done.
Just chilling in my room.
Yeah. We had to get food.
All right. 3 Martha, best EXOSISTER in the deck now. This deck needed some extra juice to go into your rank 4s, and now you have that like +2 because this card just summons for free. 3 Sophia, 3 Stella, I ran 3 Ellis, and I ran the 1 Irene. I think a lot of people prefer 2 Sophia because it kind of still doesn't do anything. But I've been in a handful of situations where the ones I normally summon off of Vadis would be either Sophia and Irene, and I either draw like a Sophia and I've drawn 2 Sophias or whatever. But you know, sometimes you also just want another EXOSISTER monster to summon off of Alice, or you know, it's really just another name. And the deck kind of needed another name as long as at least I've been playing it. So I just opted to run 3 and I liked it. So, but I mean, running 2's fine, and then just 1 Irene because she just does like this but worse. So I personally like this ratio, but you could run 2 of her and that'd be fine. And then 3 hand traps. I ran 3 Ash, 3 Shifter, and a lot of people think, you know, people kind of get counterintuitive when they come to like arguing like, well, don't run Shifter. You want them to like, you know, move stuff out of their grave and stuff, which is true. But, you know, if you have the ability to activate Shifter and still play because you're on, you know, Martha now and stuff, it's kind of just like you win. You could even activate this, have a shit hand, have like the trap, and then you win. Because this card shuts off like most decks right now. So I personally like this card. I've also just activated this and then just had to go like pass. And then I draw like 2 EXOSISTER monsters and I'd win. So I really like Shifter in this deck. I understand how like you might want them to do shit in their grave or whatever so you could proc EXOSISTERs. But if you're playing the deck and you have what you're basically doing anyway, you don't need them to move shit from their grave because you're already going to have your XYZs on the field anyway. And then spells, 3 packs, 2 ornament, 2 rulers, and I ran 1 Carpatel, 1 triple, and I ran 1 Necro Valley. And this is pretty standard. This is like one of the best cards in the deck. This card is really good, but you don't want to see too many of it. And I went from like 3 to 1 to 2 to like back to 1 to 3. And I think 2 is enough because sometimes you might just draw 1 EXOSISTER monster and you just want to kind of like get that, you know, XYZ on your opponent's turn just to get it done with. So I think 2 is the right way to go. Typically, if I'm going like second or something, or if I'm going first or whatever, I'll just side 1 out and put something better in. But I think 2 is good to just main deck and then side 1 out when you want to, you know, put something else in. And then 2 Dark Ruler. I guess you could run 3, but my deck just ran 2, and it worked out great. You know, it's one of those cards where it's like really broken. You want to like, you know, open it, but you don't want to like brick with it. So I ended up just running 2, and it worked out really well. And then I'll get these first. Triple Tactics, because it's Triple Tactics. This card's weird. Weirdly enough, this card has been really like good at 1. It's one of those cards, again, we don't want to draw too many because you have to rely on your opponent to draw like a hand trap or something. Or if you're just going second, it's really good. But like, you know, you don't want like 2 or 3 in your hand, or you just don't want to like automatically. You don't really want to see it, but if you do see it and you do draw it, it'll typically probably reward you more than if you're just running 1 than just like 3 and you're just seeing it too much. So this at 1 was actually like really good. And then the 1 Necro Valley, because it's basically just a field spell floodgate that does not hurt the EXOSISTERs. Again, it's like counterintuitive, I guess, because you want them to move stuff from the grave. But again, like if you have your EXOSISTER XYZs and then you just plop this fucking thing, you know, there's not much they're going to be able to do. It shuts off tier elements pretty much. Splites get hindered from it. And, you know, it baits out negates, and it basically says if they can't, like, out this, or if they can't stop it or initially do something about it, like, in the first place, you're basically just floodgating them until you draw your EXOSISTER plays and win anyway. So I like this at 1. It was a good just random floodgate to run. And then one of these. And I went back and forth between running 1 and 0, but if you're ideally going first, I've had a lot of times where I even searched this thing because I already had everything in my hand anyway. If you know what your opponent's playing, or if you just see what they're playing, if you just XYZ on your opponent's turn, they're playing like Splight or something, and you see that they're playing Splight, you just say, okay, use trap or use effect, blah blah blah, XYZ summon, and then literally call like Giganta or whatever, or blue or whatever the heck you want to call. So, or if you know that they're siding like specific things to like fuck you over with, you could see like, they says battle phase. Okay, like, okay, I'm gonna activate this, summon the XYZ, and then I'm gonna call evenly. This card's been really good, and it pops spells and traps. If you attack with EXOSISTERs and stuff. So I like this at 1. I don't think you need it in the deck. A lot of people probably like opt not to run it, but so far it's been really good for me. So I like it at 1. And then 3 Vadis, 3 Returnia, I guess, if that's how you say it. I mean, again, this is one of those things where some people might run 2 of one, 3 of the other, or 2 and 2, or, whatever. But, I mean, seeing this trap is kind of like you not win the game, but, it's you get 2 out of your deck. If you know your opponent's going to move something, you activate it, you summon 2 from deck or extra. I just think it's really good. In this card, you could, I guess, run 2, but, sometimes you get into that grind game where you kind of, like, use them all. And, again, if you just draw 1 EXOSISTER monster, but you have, like, this to back it up, it makes itself, like, really worth. I don't know. I guess you could run 2, but, I like 3 because, again, sometimes you just like to draw it. Because if you're not searching this off of Michaelis, you're searching this, or vice versa. So if you already have it in your hand, you can just have the combo where you have both of these. And even if they get rid of your board or whatever, as long as you still have these, you just activate this, summon 2 from deck, activate this, banish a card, and then, XYZ over and just go from there. So I like 3 and 3. I like drawing it. I like seeing it as much as I can without searching it. And then, 3 Imperm, because, it's Imperm. And then 2 Solemn Strike, because I did not have Prosperity. But this worked out, really good. Every time I said it and every time I used it, it just worked out great. So, and this is what I was playing, because I didn't run Prosperity in this deck, and then I changed it to Prosperity and taking these out, like Dueling Book or whatever. But, again, I ran it with these, and it worked just fine. So, I don't know. I probably still run the Prosperity, but, again, Strikes worked out great, and it worked out fine.
How many cards are in the main? 40?
40.
Okay.
And then the extra deck I'm going to have to explain. 3 Magnifica. Mainly because I had 3 Starlights, so I was like, oh, I guess I'll run 3. You really only need 2 in the deck. I mean, it's super fucking good. I feel like after Darkwing Blast, you might want to run 3 because all that, hit your extra deck crap or whatever's coming out. So I feel like 3 is going to end up being like after Darkwing Blast, but I mean, I don't know. 2 is still fine. 2, as long as you honestly get 1 out, you're probably winning the game by then anyway. But, I've rarely gone into 3, so I don't know. I have 3 in there. 3 Michaelis, because, again, she's your spell and trap searcher, and she's like your main banisher, so this is like probably arguably the best one that's not this rank 8. And then 3, what is it called? Caspatel. Her effect and not summon from graves, okay. But you mainly, she's the monster searcher, so, you end up searching for Martha if you didn't already use her, and that's what helps you go into Magnifica. It really sucks, though, because if you don't have D-Shifter and you want to get greedy, summoning this, and they have Ogre, this effect to activate when you summon her to where you can't activate things from grave or summon things from grave is a mandatory effect. So if you like summon this and they have Ogre, they use Ogre on it before you even get the chance to search. You kind of just lose your monster. So a lot of the times, unless you're securing your board and everything, or you can play through an Ogre, it's probably best to just go for the Michaelis. Just so, you can at least get the search if they end up ogreing your monster. So, but it really depends, It really depends on your hand. But card's still good. You still want to run 3, it's the monster search of the deck. And then you run 1 of each of these. I ran 2 and 2, but then I ran 2 and 2, but I run Ultimate Slayer targets now. I just made them. So, You know, they're both good. This is what? Imperm when it's summoned, and then it's I think it's what's it, a stagnant effect of like all XYZ monsters gain 800 on detach. So like even if you summon other monsters, they still gain the 800 for the turn, which is nuts. And then this just is a dweller on summon and non-quick effect. You can just detach and then bounce a card or a monster. You bounce a monster, which is still good. So, you know, these don't come up as much, but they're still like really good when you need to use them. So, you know, they're fine at 1. And then my random one-ofs is this and Zeus, you know, go into Zeus, die, all that good shit. And then these are my Ultimate Slayer targets, which are not in my deck at the moment, but you know, I'll get them whenever. But you know, this just to hit Splight. And oh wait, I'm sorry, not Ultimate fucking Slayer. This is for Ultimate Slayer. And I run this for I want cherries. That's what it is, Jesus. But yes, you know, Ultimate Slayer, send this, bounce a card, you know, pop a card, and then I guess, you know, send this off Ultimate Slayer too, I guess if I want to, but you know. So yeah, I run Ultimate Slayer and I do run cherries. So that's why this is in here. And then my extra deck doesn't have Ultimate Slayers. I run the 3 cherries. I run 3 anti-spell because, you know, all these power spells are normal spells for the most part. So, you know, if you activate this, they can't Lightning Storm and all this other crap on you. And then I ran 3 evenly, which did really, really well today. You know, I don't know if people just weren't expecting evenly or if they just, I don't know, they didn't care, but you know, there's not a lot of spell and trap negate for the most part, other than maybe Splight. So, you know, you draw this against tier elements, you kind of just activate it and they have to like do all their shit. And same thing with EXOSISTER. We don't run a lot of spell and trap negate, so you know, you just activate evenly. It's like, well, I guess I'm keeping 1 card. Even though the card you keep is probably gonna be really good, but then if you have another out to it, you just lose. And then 3 Lightning Storm, because it's Lightning Storm, and I'm planning on running the Gnome card, but this is just what I had. And then 2 non-fusion area, because, you know, fuck fusions, I guess. I did have 3, but I think I accidentally moved one when I sold my binder. But, you know, 2's still fine. And then the 1 Duster, because, you know, Duster's Duster. So, yeah. That was my deck, and that's the deck that won me all those packs and got me 2 ulti skill drains.
Oh yeah. Any shout outs?
I guess the cameraman did kind of like hook me up with one of those Marthas for me to win the game. I knew which one I drew too. I knew it was his.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, shout out to everyone that helped me get these EXOSISTERs early, and yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Huh? I'm just fucking with you, dude. Yeah, no, thanks. Shout out to Tables and Towers for the tournament in general and just being a great store and having great people there and good workers and, you know, being a good place in general.
All right. Any you know, finishing comments? Any lasting remarks?
You know, EXOSISTERs.
Yep. That joke's never gonna get old, I guess. All right, later.